Hello. I want to say thank you very much for listening to our introduction. You're obviously still interested, so that's a great thing. That means that somewhere we've hit a chord. And why is that? Probably because you're seeing yourself in the same position that I was in just a few years ago. So, in a few future videos, you're going to meet my wife, who was also a prior Marine. After she got out, I was still in, so she was also a Marine's spouse. She endured the deployment to Afghanistan. She endured a pregnancy while I was in Afghanistan. So she has probably walked in a lot of the same shoes as your spouses. Um, and she's also been a female in the military as a spouse. So we've been through quite a bit of experiences that have pretty much helped us figure all this out, starting our own company, starting our own business, and most importantly, the opportunity. The opportunities involved here are absolutely incredible. And Jim, let me ask you. I'm a Marine. Maybe I'm 6 months out, a year out. Maybe I'm even out of the Marine Corps. Maybe
Sure.
I'm done. I've done my time. And I see an opportunity out there. I don't know how to start a business. I don't even know the slightest thing about being an entrepreneur, but I know I want to do it because the income is incredible, the freedom is incredible, the peace of mind is incredible. So here I am. I'm a Marine, just like I was 3 years ago, looking to
But now you're not in khaki.
just that's the only difference. Not in
That's it.
my
Same
Marine
guy.
Corps camouflage. That's the
Yeah.
only difference because
That's
I'm
right.
always a Marine at heart. There I was on the fence, trying to decide: do I do this for forever, or do I launch into something else? There's a lot of, I would say, anxiety, maybe even a little bit of fear, if we can admit it, of getting out. It's the great unknown, and we inherently fear what we don't know. What is unknown, we have a little bit of resistance against. So sometimes that will force people to stay in, even though they're not 100% happy. Some people stay in for 20 years, and it's because of the fear of getting out, of not having something that's there when they decide to leave. So let's go back to me and what was going through my head when I was looking at my future. I'd made the decision, okay, I'm going to come back from Afghanistan. I want to leave the Marine Corps. I want to get out. I want to spend this time with my family, and I want to start my own business. Well, I need to go learn how to do that business. So I had to go out and seek and get training and figure out how to do that. Jim, here we are. I'm a Marine now. You tell me, what are you going to do for me if I'm 6 months from getting out, a year from getting out? Maybe if I'm already out. Maybe I'm going to college part-time. Maybe I'm working part-time.
Your transition.
I'm in a transitionary point in my life. I
Absolutely.
may not even be happy with my job, and I want to do something, maybe start part-time, anytime, full-time.
Well, I think the first thing that everybody needs to realize is what you're coming out of and into. I just think that's,
Of course.
when I do financial planning for people, like when I started with you and Gilda, we first identified where you guys were at in a lot of different areas. Were you at the point where you were starting a family, not starting a family? When we're looking at your paychecks, can't hide from those, whether they're great or lousy or whatever, it is what it is. And you guys and gals have exactly the same situation. So when you're in transition, I think one of the first things you want to do is you want to identify where you're currently at. Okay. Well, the very fact that you're looking at this video, okay, means you're interested in an option. Basically what I call that, you're Yahooing. That's an acronym for you always have other options. And I think our business opportunity, John, that I'm excited to share with everyone today is where we're at. And one of the things that John touched on that I want to just really underscore is John's his own boss. So John is, this guy is doing real estate, 7/24. It's in his blood now. He's focused on it. He is a torpedo going to the target. All right, there's no doubt about it. And then a guy like me comes in and starts talking about working with others and having other people bring you income and more income. And he's going, wow, how does that work? Well, let me share something with you. We've talked a little bit about the strengths of being an entrepreneur, okay? But now we've got to go from the field, this openness, direct TV of 1 million channels to one channel. We got to come down the funnel to one thing and talk about what is it that could be easy to do, easy to learn, is something that is out there that has value for people, and everybody understands it. You with me?
Totally, totally.
And so what I have is a 2-part program. Now, at the beginning, it will probably catch you off guard.
Well, Jim,
Yeah.
let me touch on that real quick because you mentioned that people or maybe our Marine sailors are in a transitionary point. It's very similar to when we joined the Marine Corps. I joined in 1996. I just graduated from high school. I was in a transitionary point. What do I want to do? And the options were, of course, wide open. I chose the Marine Corps, and obviously that is what has driven my life to where it is now. You're in the same position now. Here you are, maybe deciding to get out of the Marine Corps. Maybe you're staying in the Marine Corps, but you're at a transitionary point. So it's just like when we went to boot camp or to OCS or to the Naval Academy. It's just wherever we entered, we now have another transition point. And it's up to you now to look at these options and then say, is this one that I want to pursue? Just like when you went to boot camp, no one is going to send you off to boot camp without training. All we do for 13 weeks is train you how to be a Marine. It's no different than what we would do, what we're going to do. Where no one is going to throw you into a pool and say swim. That would just be insanity. It's about preparing people.
Well, now it's business.
That is true. That is business.
And now it's business. And what comes with business is training, okay, putting your ego aside for a while, because if you're going to be a great leader, you got to first be a great follower.
And we've all heard that before.
Yeah.
Me being a Marine.
Well, whatever it is. I was a baseball player. At every level I went up, the coach said, you don't know anything. If you think you know, I've forgotten more than you know. Okay? And you keep going up the ladder, and then pretty soon there's a day you arrive, and you're like, hey, your stuff's pretty good. Well, that's the development. John, let me spend a few minutes with these guys now, and let's talk about this business. We are going to talk about the life insurance industry, okay? And then we are going to talk about the financial service industry, and then we're going to wrap it up into the third part of being entrepreneurial. Okay, now, as a service member, your world has to deal with death. It's there. I'm sitting here working with an acoustic tile that might fall out and fall on my head. I doubt it's the same as a bullet coming by or being stabbed in the ribs or something like that. I mean, it's a different deal, and we know that. Yet, what I want you to understand is, just like you, when you get out, have basic bills at home, like your utility bill, to fill up the gas that you maybe have a charge card at the end of the month you have to, to pay to Shell Oil or Chevron, or your grocery bill. I mean, there's basic things. There's basic necessary costs. Well, in the service community, life insurance through SGLI, VGLI, whatever it is a part and parcel of the budget, right? Whether it comes out of your allotment,
Sure.
or it comes out of your checking account, it's there. It's just something there, like you turn on the lights or get a glass of water. It's part of your being. It's not financial services. It's one section. And what we are doing is we are going to build a field force of people that have the ability and the relationships to communicate with people that we know. Our family, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our military chums, our school chums, whatever it is, the people in the community that we know, the organizations we affiliate with. John, you said in our first video that your real estate gig is tied to military.
Absolutely.
You didn't say anyone. It could be, but your primary market is military, because birds of a feather flock together.
That's who I knew when I started.
Exactly.
That was me.
Well, you're a purple jelly bean in the bag of financial services of real estate.
Yes.
Let's say our buddy.
Let's not say jelly bean. Let's say M&M.
Okay,
Marines
good.
are harder than jelly.
Okay,
Right?
good. So let's say that Ernie was sitting here and he was a tax guy. He was an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
There's a different color M&M in the bag.
Absolutely.
I might be, as a financial advisor with a specialty toward retirement and pensions. I'm another one. My good Korean friend Kwan Lee is a property casualty guy that covers homeowners insurance and car insurance, different things. Where we want to start you is in the life insurance business in only two areas. One, replacement income, providing a death benefit, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, $2 million of tax-free life insurance that will go back to your loved ones. The odds of us dying are 100%. Okay? Usually when somebody dies prematurely and then we get through the shock of that and the grieving of that, tomorrow I'm going to a funeral. And we do that, it's like, well, I wonder if they have insurance. Well, in the military, in my world of 32 years of being in business, military guys, I mean, they all have insurance. Somewhere along the line, it's just kind of there, like khaki's a color for the Marine Corps.
Absolutely.
It's there. We want to train you in that area. We believe, and I know for an absolute fact, that if you do this, get your license, go through my training program and do this, you have the opportunity of making anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 to $2,500 a month, part-time, full-time, anytime, because it's based on your understanding of the product and the relationships of people that you have. Now that's the first one for replacement income. I mean, it's pretty simple, okay? The second one, John, is the one that I think is the sleeper. And this is the one that I built my career on when I didn't know anything. I mean, I was a first-year rookie, and I led the world in results because I gravitated to this. I realized that me and every one of my friends along the trail needed more money. I mean, that's a tough thing to say for a single guy. And then I started saying, well, John, let me ask you a question. If we could have gone 10 years back and have done something, taken something out of your wallet, something out of your paycheck on a monthly basis, and you had today $10, $15, $25,000 from what you did 10 years ago, being now 10 years farther along in the trail, how would you feel today about that?
I feel a lot better than I do right now not having it.
Exactly.
I can tell you that.
Okay, and then here's the next logical question. If I had that money for you now, right, and say I don't, do you think you're going to be needing that money again in the next 10 years?
Without a doubt.
Do you think you're kind of hoping to live, Of course. And this is not even retirement planning. And we have a product that if you take this cash value life insurance product, not term insurance, cash value, and tie it with a disability rider that says, John, if you saved at the bank and had an injury on the base or out in the field, whatever it is, and you got sick, hurt, disabled, couldn't work, would those jokers at the bank continue to match your monthly payment into that savings program?
No.
No. We will. And so that means if somebody gets hurt or whatever, it's guaranteed to self-complete. And we think that's a cool idea. So anyway, that is the beginning. And that is Roman numeral 1 of our enterprise. Reaching out to service members with their wives, with their families, whether they're single, whatever it is, and learning how to use this and sharing that and doing business with friends. Now, John, we've been working together, and I met Gilda before I met you.
Sure.
You with me? Where she worked prior. And then she came over, she needed services. I started working with her. She drug you along at the beginning because you're still a Marine. And boy, all you could talk about was building the empire of your business on real estate, which was great. And here we are years later working together. So you started with an idea, went into a burning passion. Now you glow in the dark about real estate, which is great, and being an entrepreneur. You went through training and away you're going, and your income is just like that.
Absolutely.
Now, could you have failed along the way?
Failure is always
The answer is yes. And I should never ask a Marine that.
Oh.
But anyway, yes. But here's my point. If you did your best and it just simply didn't work out, wouldn't that be positive then to you that you know you wouldn't want to do that anymore?
Absolutely.
And then you'd want to focus on something else. Why would you want to limit yourself up here to the potential of finding out if this is something you could do? Because, most people don't regret making the right decision, but they do regret making the wrong decision or not the decision. Our program, if you will start with us in the insurance business and start making additional income while you're still in or getting out or
In college, part-time school.
whatever it is, let us show you how to do that. And here's the fun part. If you demonstrate to us that you can succeed in meeting with people, creating need, solving problems, doing good deeds, writing good business, keeping it on the books, helping people out, which is fun to do, by the way. If you do that and you can show that you're a leader and not a follower, and you grow into that role, just like I'm sure you could bring me in to real estate, put up with me, put up with my mistakes, learn of what I'm doing, and turn me into a raiser. You with me for real estate? Okay, same idea with you guys. We bring you in. The second thing we'll teach you is how in this business you start to go down into different levels of you recruiting other service members and your friends, and you bringing them in part-time, full-time, anytime, and they start doing business. You get paid on their business as well as keep growing and building a business under you, and I will develop and train you like I'm going to do with John and Gilda of how to do this. And John, knowing a couple of boneheads, you and I, in this thing, we ought to be able, I almost said an army, we ought to be able to build quite an organization of good people across America, and that will not only either sell insurance or learn to build a business in the financial services. And if you succeed in phase 2, phase 3 is we'll teach you how to go out and do public speaking, to prospect more, to promote your business and your opportunity, whether you want to go into real estate, whether you want to evolve from insurance into financial services. I mean, the sky's the limit. But understand the foundation of our conversation today is about becoming an entrepreneur and immediately seeking us out to make additional needed monthly income. Right?
Absolutely.